My name is Erin Brown, and I'm from Valparaiso, Indiana, and I study Spanish and Global Service, and I have a minor in theology.
Wonderful.
I found out about CAPS through a couple of friends that had been in the program before me, and when I came back from school my sophomore year, some of the upperclassmen friends that I had could not stop talking about their experience with the CAPS program. And I knew that it was something that interested me right away because they would always talk about how they felt like they were a part of the community with the people they were working with. They weren't separated from the rest of the group that had been working at the organization, and some people had been working with the organization for many, many years, and so when they came in for the summer as part of their internship, they really felt like they were a part of that community. And I thought that was something that was so intriguing because you don't often hear about that within certain internships. So I knew that I was interested in doing ministry work, but I really didn't know what aspect that I really wanted to focus in on. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to do something with youth ministry or do something with college ministry or do something with pastoral work. And so going to my internship with the Interfaith Committee for Detained Immigrants, I knew that I was going to be participating in ministry, but I wasn't really sure where that would direct me. So I had a lot of excitement going in, but also some questions in discerning where my gifts lied, and then also where that would take me in the future too. So the Interfaith Committee for Detained Immigrants is in Chicago, Illinois, and one of the main things that it really emphasizes is standing in solidarity with our immigrant brothers and sisters. And so the organization, ICDI, does a lot of different ministries within the Chicago area. And so my day-to-day activities looked really different, which gave me a really awesome variety of things that I was doing every week. So on Mondays, I would go to the office and do office work and really get to know the community that was working within the office. And then on Tuesdays, I would drive to Woodstock in McHenry County for pastoral care at the detention center. And so I would talk with people from all over the world. Mainly the people that I did talk with were from Guatemala or El Salvador or Honduras. So I got to practice my Spanish a lot and really get to know people and talk about faith or just how their day was. And then on Wednesdays, I switched between going to the director of the Children's Ministries House and working on children programming for the Centers for Unaccompanied Minors in Chicago, and also going to the courthouse off of Van Buren downtown. And then on Thursdays, I would do pastoral care at a different detention center in Kenosha, Wisconsin. On Fridays, I would work at Broadview, which is the deportation center that's west of Chicago. And so I would stand with families and just talk with them and get to know their story a little bit and who they were there to see and to pray with them. And then after the deportation center on Fridays, I would go to Hyde Park, Illinois. They have a post-detention home for mothers and children and young teens too. So it's a family house that I would get to go and really just get to know the people living there. So it was a wide variety of things that I did over the summer each week. So I think one of the big takeaways from this summer was the power of listening and having that space for listening. And I think that having that space to think and to process is really important within any type of position that a person is in. It really gives people a sense of peace to just be able to take a step back, and it makes people feel welcome too, that it's an invitation for your story to be heard. So I think that listening was a vital part of my time with ICDI, just being able to get to know people's stories and how they came to the United States and the struggles that they had or what they were going through now, but also just being able to sit with joyful spirits with celebrating with the communities that I was with as well. So listening was definitely really important for me to be able to learn more about and practice. I think that another thing that I also learned over the summer was that within a ministry position, I won't always have the answers to things. And especially within being able to see more about the immigration system and kind of what it looks like within the United States and some of the different challenges that go on within the system, it was really difficult for me at first to go in and be like, I don't have a definite answer to this, and like it's so hard for me not to be able to find some tangible thing of like how I can solve this problem. And through my relationship with my mentor and other CAPS fellows, I learned like within this system of immigration, you need good ministers, but you also need good correctional officers, you need good translators. And so it doesn't lie on one person, but those connections that you make with people and that respect. And when people are working together efficiently, that's when change starts to happen. That community was something that was incredibly important for me, because you're able to have those conversations about, this is the work that I'm doing, and this is why I'm excited about it, and these are the things that I'm like seeing change in, and these are the things that I'm growing in, and I'm learning about all of these things that I'm so passionate about. And especially with my position with ministry, there were a lot of really heavy things that went on throughout the summer too. And so it was really great for me to be able to have that community to lean back on when I was struggling with something, or to have a cohort that was also in Chicago with me that we could go and have dinner and talk about how our days were going, or the things that we saw, or the things that were frustrating us, and how we wanted to see change in that. I think that when a student is wanting to look within themselves to see if CAPS would be something that would be right for them, I think they're at a good point, because CAPS is something that you're able to reflect a lot within the reflections, the journal entries that you submit, and then also just being able to have civic reflections with groups too. That's something that's really vital, and to be able to kind of want to dive into those deeper questions is a really awesome trait to have. And within CAPS, there are so many different positions that you can have. There are ministry positions, there's positions in engineering, there are positions for marketing, and all of these different things. And so there are a lot of really awesome CAPS placements that I think that a lot of students would get a lot out of. But there's also that opportunity to try something new too that they haven't necessarily studied or have had an interest in